Welcome back. The cancer awareness message is being carried by Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, and the Senate president as part of efforts to curb the menace. Dr. Jonathan and Senator Saraki explained during a visit to Bayelsa State that they are set to collaborate with Governor Seriake Dickson to curb cancer prevalence in Nigeria. The two leaders, who paid Governor Dickson a condolence visit at his country home, agreed that cancer has been the cause of several deaths in the country recently. They say a cancer center to be set up by Governor Dickson would aid in early detection and prevention of the disease in both the Niger Delta and other parts of Nigeria.
A number of deaths are caused by cancer. And just like the governor said, the best treatment of cancer is early detection. If it is detected early, then the survival of the individual is quite high. Whether it is breast cancer, whether it is cervical cancer, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's colon cancer, most of these that kill a number of people. If it is detected early, it will help in terms of saving that person. So my foundation will work with the family. That may be one of the first major jobs we'll do. We'll work with the family to make sure that the cancer center is established in Tororwa, so that people from within the state, from within the south, and even some parts of the middle belt will come here to screen, especially to screen, then of course treatment to save our people.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan. Mental tests will be conducted on officers, as well as psychological tests on officers of special anti-robbery squads to ascertain their fitness and ensure that rights and citizens are not flouted. The Kwara State Commissioner for Police, while addressing officers on SARS on the need to limit their activities to armed robbery and kidnapping, noted that beating and detention of people should stop.
There are no account most SARS personnel, which has now been changed from SARS to F-SARS, Federal SARS. On no account must you get involved in other activities other than armed robbery and kidnapping-related cases. Some of you are the arresting officers, and you are also the detention officers. It is very appalling that in some divisions or in some of your sections, the sectional commander is also the detaining officer. You behave as if you don't have a commander at all. So that is an abuse. We are asked to conduct periodic training, whether it's going to be local or international or national training, and also conduct psychological tests, because some of us really, we need some kind of psychological training, screening. I just had a cause now to talk to a policeman on the road in Ibadan. Somebody called me to intervene. Even the way a man and the policeman is talking, it doesn't suggest that he's a human being. So I think some of us actually require some medical and psychological training to ascertain our humanity.
To legal matters now, the new president of the Nigeria Bar Association, Mr. Paul Osoro, plans to make uniting the lawyers his first priority as he resumes office. Speaking at the official handover ceremony in Abuja, Mr. Osoro observed that the acrimony and rifts within the legal profession in the country did not start with the last election. He, however, observed that the divisions make the association vulnerable to attack. Mr. Osoro also added that the NBA is not an adversary to the government, but partners for national development.
I come into office as the 29th president of the NBA at a time that the association is riven with and by acrimonious divisions of all sorts, not to mention serious skepticism and distrust of the NBA leadership by our members. Those divisions and rifts did not start with the last elections. They were simply exacerbated and made worse by these elections. It is critical and urgent that we bind, heal wounds, and restore unity in our house of lawyers. We are strong only when united and together. Divided, we are vulnerable and subject to external and devastating attacks, and these are the dangers we face daily. My immediate task would therefore be to heal these wounds, seal the cracks, and unite our family of lawyers.
Governor Mohammed Jibrila of Adamawa State has assured the newly posted members of the NYSC of adequate security in spite of pockets of activities of the Boko Haram and the recent clashes between herdsmen and farmers in the state. The governor gave the assurance during the inauguration of the 2018 Batch B Stream B NYSC orientation course in Yola, the state capital.
We have re-engineered the participation of traditional institutions in security matters. We have innovated a process of information flow and reporting from the grassroots to the highest level. And you can only motivate, activate, and tell people to also be wary. The policing and the insecurity control now is local. That is why we are encouraging the corps members to make sure that wherever they are deployed, they get the contact numbers of the security outfits, the contact numbers of the traditional institutions, and they should also watch and report whatever they see that is abnormal. I think collectively we have things under control, and we can only continue to do these things until we totally eradicate this menace.
The Board of Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC, a leading food company, has declared 13 billion naira dividend for its shareholders. During its annual general meeting in Lagos, Chairman of the board, John Komantaros, told the shareholders that the company's business model remains a competitive advantage in the industry.
Thank you on behalf of the company.
Hundreds of shareholders at the 58th Annual General Meeting of Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC. It's another opportunity for them to receive report and financial highlights from the directors and statutory committees on the company's performance for the year ended March the 31st, 2018.
And the company secretary seated on the platform.
First, the chairman gives the company's scorecard.
I think our shareholders, our stakeholders, our customers should expect further growth of our brands and our products, further presence in the marketplace, and a strong performance of our consumer and industrial brands. As far as shareholders are concerned, we are continually looking to build the strength of our company, the presence of our products in the markets, our ability to deliver the different products and categories that we're introducing as one of the largest food and agro-allied companies in the nation.
For the shareholders, the report appears encouraging, but they want the company to do more in the incoming year.
There is need for us to always make sure that valuations are in reality with the current market price.
With a declaration of 13.6 billion naira profit after tax and 1 naira per unit share, the Group Managing Director of Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC gives assurance of a better performance in the new year.
We will do our best to put the right resources in place to ensure that we deliver the budget for the 2018-2019 financial year and give confidence to our stakeholders so that they will be happy with our performance.
Flour Mills became a public limited liability company in 1978, with its shares listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Well, on our way to business news, here's Kayode Okikiolu.
Thank you, Amarachi, and you're welcome to Business News. The Nigerian government has been asked to adopt a development intelligence approach in increasing the spread of the industrial sector of the economy. Now, this was according to economist Dr. Biodun Adedipe, while speaking to Channels Television's Business Morning on the Focus Labs for Manufacturing and Industrial Processing under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
The critical thing for me, I call it development intelligence. Now, development intelligence means governments at the federal, state, and local will go out deliberately, identify private operators in priority sectors, and go after them and make them offers of incentives to come produce in their own jurisdiction. In which case, federal government is looking after Nigeria as a nation. Then every state government, and this is where some of us are also disappointed with our state governments, Because the question was asked, how many of them have come up with plans that align with ARGP? And it turned out that only 4 out of 36, plus the federal capital, only 4 of them have actually developed plans to align with ARGP, which means what we have as a national goal is inconsequential at the sub-national level. So we are then with such state government take the initiative of development intelligence, which is what Ghana, Rwanda, even South Africa, and all these countries are doing.
And the chief economist at PwC Advisory, Mr. Andrew Nevin, says the use of blockchain could have prevented the ongoing saga of illegal capital repatriation between MTN Nigeria, 4 banks, and the central bank. Mr. Nevin tells Channels Television on Friday that the blockchain technology is a more transparent and trusted approach in global financial transactions.
We're all aware of the news with MTN and the 4 banks in Nigeria. You think about if we had blockchain technology, we would not have this issue, because at the time that these transactions happened, you would have had on the blockchain the CBN, all the banks involved, MTN, other parties to this. They would have had the same information. The CCI, the Certificate of Capital Importation, would have been on the blockchain. The preconditions for the expatriation of capital would have been on the blockchain, and would have been that transparency. But now we're in a situation where we're trying to reconstruct history from different people's records 10, 15 years later almost, and then come up with a regulatory solution. So the blockchain is going to prevent these things from happening in the future.
Let's head over to the Nigerian Stock Exchange as the month of August finally comes to an end. Nigeria's stock market closes Friday's trading session deeper in the red, with all share now at a new low level. Bisi Adebayo tells us more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The NYSC's main index fell below the 35,000 level on the last trading day of August after dropping further by 0.68% as more profit-taking hit major blue-chip stocks across 3 major sectors of the market. The banking sector was mostly hit by the sell-off following a 2.48% drop as investors continue to weigh the impact of Wednesday's sanctions by the Central Bank of Nigeria on 4 banks for aiding improper repatriation of funds by telecoms giant MTN Nigeria. Heavy losses recorded by 21 equities led by a 9.09% price decline from Jaiz Bank resulted to an 87 billion naira drop in the market's total value. Now that's in contrast to slight gains posted by 18 equities led by airline services. On the other hand, volume of shares traded for the day increased by 136.3 million units from Thursday's turnover to over 384 million units, largely driven by over 102.82 million shares from Diamond Bank. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thank you, Bisi. On a global scene, it is a similar negative picture for major equities market around the world amid renewed global trade war concerns. Here are some of the closing figures. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikiolu.